We're so back.
We're so back.
Welcome to our end of the year stream where we have already covered movies. Now it's time for everything else we consumed. So we're going to start off with shows, but then we also have, which one is this? We have anime, and then we have video games. Incredible. So, right off the
descending
bat,
order of interest.
yes, exactly. So right off the bat, the main thing, okay, the reason why I want to end with games is there are some games that came out that were like genuinely the best experiences I've had this year, like including all other mediums. So I'm like
fighting so hard to make jokes about what you just said.
I'm just saying. Yeah,
I like your current life too much to ruin it with jokes.
it's just I'm just saying. Well, I'm saying art, I guess. I don't know. Ultimately, it's just
No, you heard what you said.
I did hear
and you
what I
heard
said.
the jokes that I was about to unload directly
Yes.
into your forehead.
So I really want to end on actually spoiler talk for I think one or two of the games that I played this year. So you're welcome to stay or not stay because I'm going to be spoiling those games.
I just love the
Yeah.
idea that I do two lists and then I just leave and you're just
That's fine.
talking to
And I
yourself
just stare
quietly.
right into the camera and talk about my own stuff.
All right.
So starting off, we have The Pit. Do you know about The Pit?
Pretty
Yeah.
pretty
Pretty
banger.
good. Did you watch it?
I did not watch all of it. I've seen a lot of it though.
I have been consuming it via YouTube Shorts, and there's just a bunch of similarly to how like House was when like people realized you could just drop it on YouTube Shorts and clips. It's been coming up for me, and I'm just like, this is like the modern version of those shows, but like way grittier. And I'm down with it.
It's
I like
funny
that.
because I think I've consumed more of it through like video essayists being like,
Oh, really?
This is the Helm's Deep of ER dramas.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. No, I mean, I'm excited to actually watch through it. But of things that came out this year, it was a strong start. I know everybody was talking about it early in the year, but I think we should we give it a key on want to talk about it or give it an A?
I think it's a key. I want to talk about it,
Okay,
but
let's
like
do it.
everyone and their mom says it's an A or an S.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but good things. But that leads us to something else I've heard nothing but good things about, and you actually watched, which
yes.
is Pluribus. How you think about it?
Oh, solid S tier. Oh my God, Vince Gilligan is so back. He's so back, baby. His story, the way he crafts an idea that is just riddled with potential is incredible. That like
Yeah.
the first episode alone. I know you said you
Yes.
watched the first episode and you're just like the moment things are happening, you're like every potential angle of it, someone can be right.
Yes. And it reminds me of when I was watching Parasite, and I was like, oh, cool. So this is a movie about this. And so this is probably what's going to happen. And when you're watching a movie, sometimes you predict like, oh, they've given me this nugget that'll show up later. No, they immediately pay it off. They immediately move on. And so I really love that in the first episode that I'm like, this is just an incredibly good, like, that's what a pilot is more or less, is like a mini movie talking about the entire show. But I didn't expect for it to be as good as it is, as well as when I first saw the name, I thought it was Polybus. And so I was like, is this about that arcade cabinet that was like drugging people in the 70s and 80s? Do you know about Polybus at
No.
all? There was a made up, people think like this is like
This is Berenstain Bears.
well, the problem is there's not much proof that I've seen that there was an arcade cabinet that would pop up in arcades in the 80s that if you played it, you would go insane. It was called Polybus. And so that's what I thought. I was like, did he just make like a speculative like show about what that arcade cabinet would be, which would be really interesting. But the idea that a lot of people had is that the game was probably just giving people seizures and like was like a cabinet. And so one like development studio was like, cool, okay, so we're gonna put this game out there, and then it was just giving kids seizures and they would tap out. But apparently other people think it's a CIA thing. They put a cabinet out there and then they put LSD on the buttons, so you would like they would be able to test your whatevers and like see how.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I hate you talking about this because it's ruining the fact that Pluribus is so great. I don't care about this.
That's fair.
Pluribus is so great. Stop talking about whatever you're talking about.
It just reminds me of like when you hear a topic and you're like, oh, they could make this into a show, and then you watch a show that's better about something else, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I like this better. This is good.
No. Pluribus,
yes.
absolute banger. The acting's amazing. The story's amazing. Absolute S tier. Please watch it.
Hell yeah. So the next one, I'm curious if you've watched anything about it, is Death by Lightning. Do you know Death by Lightning at all?
No, I haven't even heard of this.
I told you about it a couple weeks ago in the form of like, hey, I watched this show. And that was basically the entirety of what I told you. The show was made by, gosh, I don't even think I can remember the person that made it. I just know that they have like Nick Offerman's in it and a bunch of people that like you wouldn't normally take seriously. But I think Michael Shannon plays I think it's President Garfield, I think. And it's about how President Garfield was elected and his presidency. And it's really good.
Really?
Yeah, because Tom McFadden, the guy that plays what's his name? The guy from Succession, what is his name? Tom Walmsgans?
Yeah.
Yeah, or Anthony McFadden? Whatever, McFadden. He plays this like complete, like one of the craziest characters that I've seen put on television, where he's just constantly like a bastard and you're just following him, and it's
That's
awesome.
exactly who he is in Succession. That's probably why they cast him.
But it's so good because all of the characters, in my opinion, they play up the characters in a way that you just want them all to succeed. You want them all to have a good life, and that they're all getting in each other's ways, and it's really good for that. And it's like a historical drama. It was really good. And it was only, I think it's only 3 parts. So it's really worth like, I don't know, a weekend or whatever just to binge all of it. I think they all came at once. So yeah, I would put it in like an A tier. I really enjoyed it. It was filmed really well, acted really well, and it had a bunch of actors that like, as soon as I saw an actor I liked, I was like, I hope they show up for more than an episode. And they do usually. So it's very nice. The next one is Common Side Effects. Did you watch all of it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good.
Oh my God. This one was so, again, this is one was like Pluribus in that it is like an idea that you think is going to be like a pretty, like, it's not even preachy. It's crazy how well they executed it because it's coming from a place of like the war on drugs is bad, and like obviously there's like the oligarchs who control all drugs, and the guy who like finds the cool mushroom that makes everyone immune to death. But it's also like there are like every person in the show thinks they're right in a reasonable way. Even the most evil character who you hate and you know they're wrong, you can understand why they think they're right. And it just like it works on so many levels, and every one of them at some point is met with like a character conflict that forces them to reckon with their worldview throughout the show. It is this is another S tier. I will die on this one in Pluribus. I will die on this hill.
That's what I find funny about some Adult Swim shows, is that like they could be made with people in a room, like you could film it with people, but some of the visuals that they pick are so psychedelic and crazy and very specific that it makes way more sense for it to be animated. I only saw the first episode, but I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
The show, the whole season is so rock solid.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. S tier it is. It sounds great. And it's funny because I was a little hyped for it because I had seen some clips, and it mostly was just like, here's 2 goofy cops that are going to be on the case.
The cops are so funny. It's like every single character. You just, like I thought for sure I was gonna hate the cops after the first episode, and they became like every time they showed up, I was like, oh, it's gonna be great. Whatever they do is gonna be great. The way they talk to each other alone is great. Just having it's just like your weird friend that you and them just talk to each other in a way that only you two could talk to. It's just so good.
That's what I love about like a show that's multifaceted like that, because you have different pockets of story happening where when you cut to each different person, they're in like basically another story.
Yeah.
One's in like a conspiracy theory story, another one's in a corporate drama, and another one is like a detective story.
You literally have Succession, True Detective, and like Breaking Bad all happening in the same movie.
It's just show. And for an animated show, I mean, I'm so about it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the like it feels like Adult Swim is the only place art is happening anymore.
And speaking of which, we have Smiling Friends. Another season came out this year. Come on.
Yep. I give it an A.
You give it an A?
Pretty good.
I give it an
pretty
A.
Funny. Pretty funny. Always funny.
It reminds me of the first.
Wasn't a standout.
It reminds me of the first couple seasons of Rick and Morty, when like you see the first season, you're just like, oh my God, this is a revelation. This will change everything. And then as it keeps going, you're like, this is still good. It's still doing exactly what I thought it would. And this is the same thing with the show, is that like when you tune in, it's just a joy.
Yeah.
For me, I really love it for the fact that like I used to watch all these Newgrounds animators and be like, oh my God, they're so cool and they're so funny, and like I want to be like them, when all of them sound completely miserable and they all just hate their lives, and they're just like, I'm a struggling artist and I hate all this. And then to see all of them come into this show and like create fun visuals and just be like, we're just having fun, let's just have a good time. And yeah, I'm glad that it is consistent, it's still going. And then I really quickly need to talk about the Autistic Gamer on YouTube. I showed you this, didn't I?
Yeah. Oh damn.
You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the autistic gamer is like why I think it gets an A is because
Yeah.
like Smiling Friends, it's not as memeable. Like this season wasn't as
yeah.
memeable as like
Yeah.
the first season. Like I can't do a Renaissance Men about this season.
There
I
were
don't
like
think.
reaction gifts you could make
Yeah.
from previous seasons. This
Yeah.
one, there's less of that.
But
yeah.
at the same time, like just the way they keep like leaning into their audience and
Mm-hmm.
giving back is just like it's just so fun.
Because they're so apparently like Zach Hagel and I know that Oni and G
Yeah.
Chris O'Neill, Chris O'Neill. They've like have so much content of them just sitting and watching like small like tiny YouTubers making silly videos and then they meme it to death like on their own like podcasts and let's plays and stuff like that. And the Cool Autistic Gamer was like a channel that was like that where they would just take clips from the show and put them out there. And then this year, for the new season, either they reached out to the channel or they actually were the channel the whole time. But like clips would come out from that were like so well animated to insert the character into the scene and like revoiced and stuff like that it's become its own genre actually. Because there's also like this character that looks like I don't even know. It's like a Brazilian like anime character that people are like photoshopping into the show. Have you seen this either?
No.
It's so silly. And so there has now become this boutique animation style of working in characters into the background of Smiling Friends. So I'm glad how this
entertainment.
is. Yeah, it's evolving. And I think, yeah, 8 tier is fitting. There we go. So now we're going to move a little bit into the Marvel side of TV because I think it's gotten really stale. We mentioned really quickly, should we talk about Captain America, Brave New World? Because we didn't talk it. Yeah, we didn't talk about it in the movies section, but I think
You
that's
did
since
that.
we're
I knew.
Yeah.
It got a C for Captain America from me.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd give it a C. It wasn't
It did nothing new. That's the most annoying thing. It had potential. It actually did have potential to do something.
it was the sun chips of movies. Like it's not like I
It's
didn't
the
like
baked Lay's potato
Yes.
chip of movies.
Yeah, it's there. I saw it. I'm not going to remember it. The only things I do
Sitting
remember
on
of
the
it.
side of my delicious sandwich,
Yes.
but I'm not looking at it with any fondness.
And one of our most popular YouTube shorts is us talking about how it was announced, and apparently Harrison Ford on set would be like, "Let's film this piece of crap." Like he just couldn't care less, and
Absolute
it shows.
king.
Yeah, and I think it's also I don't know if it's like the first one that it's probably the first one that I noticed this, but apparently like a lot of these movies are getting to the point where they're just made in the edit. They're
Yeah.
CG'd in the edit because like there was going to be a different villain.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford was going to do a different thing. The ending was going to be different. And a lot of those that you hear, the way the movie comes out is so bland that you're like, I kind of wish whatever that other thing did happen because who cares? Like the way that the movie came out. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's also just not worth your time at this point, these movies. So I feel bad for Marvel because they are really floundering trying to get Doomsday out. Do you know about these trailers?
Yeah. They're like, I think the biggest problem is like you have literally Chris Evans come back and you're like, well, why the hell do we even care about like the new Captain America if you're just gonna bring back the old Captain America?
And I totally thought, so this is the thing in comic books, as you know, that like no character dies ever. And then the joke is no character dies except Uncle Ben, canonically. So when they're
Only dies over and over and over again,
Exactly.
1,000 times.
it's a canon event. And so for all of the other characters that come back in the comic books, who cares? They're literally a drawn, thing. But these are actors. Actors can retire. So that it makes the most sense for them to just leave it behind, especially some of these actors have gone on to do other things and have publicly said, I'm never going back. I'm too tired. And then here comes Disney with like, but how big of a check do you need though? Because Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Dr. Doom is the least inspired casting I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah.
So having both of the leads come back is just depressing. And so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how Doomsday goes. I hear a lot of people that are a part of it are just like, actually, it's really good, but like,
Doesn't matter.
yeah, exactly.
We don't care.
Yeah.
No one cares.
So moving on to the actual thing we're supposed to be talking about, which is Daredevil Born Again. Did you watch it?
I didn't care. I think I literally sat down, start watching some of it, and I literally just had a moment of like, I don't need to spend my time like this.
Yes. It's funny because I only watched part of it and it did feel like if the original Daredevil was like a shiny rock and you're just like, this is cool and I enjoy it and I like looking at it, and then they literally like just rounded out every edge, you're just like, well, now it's still kind of the cool same
now it's
rock.
just a mirrored ball. Like it's, I get it, but like before, the crevices were actually what interested me.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's not bad. It is working in this character that wasn't part of the MCU into the MCU, but it's of the parts I saw, I was like, you take it or leave it. So
I think that's why I liked the original one. Was first of all, like him and Jessica Jones were like my two favorites.
Sure.
And then also it was like it
Luke
made
Cage
it
was
feel
good. Yeah.
It made it feel like everything was like you could have these tiny stories that like reference the big stories, but were like so tiny that like you never like knew about them unless you went to watch them.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like now it's like, no, this guy's definitely here, and you know that
because it's more of a part of a giant like tapestry they're weaving. So they're like, well, we can't leave him out. We can't leave this out. And it's just like, okay, fine, I guess. So C, are we feeling?
it's D for Daredevil.
Okay, we're doing that. D for Daredevil.
I literally couldn't watch it. I'm sorry, but if you have a TV show I can't even will myself to watch, it's not. No.
And really quickly, I want to skip over to Ironheart. Did you watch Ironheart at all?
This was another one of those. I think I got 3 episodes in, and I was like, its own internal logic started giving me a headache. Because it's one of those things where it's like, how do you fumble such a cool character?
Yeah, like I think Miss Marvel was fun in the way that like this is how I think of the Marvel shows, and I think they've strayed away from this. Is that like each episode needs to be its own exciting like moment, and they all string together more or less. And that's why WandaVision was such a revelation, because they're like, this is filmed like all of the different eras of TV. This is how we're getting into that. And then Miss Marvel had like a cool drawing style in the beginning, but similarly to that, it starts off like kind of interesting, and I didn't finish it. I was just genuinely, when these shows get to the point where I'm sitting there like, I could be doing anything else. It's harder in a movie theater to get up and leave, but when you're watching it on TV, you pause and then leave.
No, it was hard D. Hard D for me.
The only thing that I think is remotely relevant about this is that everybody was clamoring for Mephisto for the past several shows.
I know. I was going to bring that up as like, imagine like you want Mephisto, and then when you get Mephisto, not only is it Sacha Baron Cohen not even being remotely interesting, but it's just like crammed into someone else's show.
Yeah. And
you have like literally Wanda and Agatha, and you don't put him anywhere near either of them.
Yeah. And that's why Agatha was so interesting, is like it at least had some stuff that's happening that strings you along. And the funniest thing about any actor joining the MCU is apparently it's just the opportunity for them to get into basically a fitness club, because all of them get shredded insanely, and then that becomes their whole thing, because Sacha Baron Cohen had this whole thing of like, I think he just got divorced, so like his divorce bod's looking pretty good, where I'm like, I think that's also whatever trainer Marvel has him on, so that he can look sexy for the next movie. So yeah, I would also put it in D. D it is. There we go. Okay, so Adolescence. Did you see Adolescence at all? I only saw the first episode. A lot of these I only saw the first episode, but I'm just like, it's pretty good. You didn't see it at all?
Nope.
So this has some really great actors, but like I think the child actor that's in this like got at least they're nominated for I think it's a Tony, the ones that are for TV.
Emmy?
Golden Globe. I'm sorry, that was it. And and Emmys. And
I'm pretty sure Tony is for
musicals.
stage
Yeah,
plays.
exactly. Yeah. But genuinely, the first episode was surprising in the form of like, when you start with a movie or a show or something, and then you're like starting on the first shot, and then it keeps going, you're like, oh, well, this is kind of cool to set the stage. And then it keeps going with the same style, and you're like, oh, this is like the whole episode's going to be like this. I felt that in the first episode, and then the whole show kept going like that, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little annoyed with this art, the way that they're filming it. And the first episode was very good. I think it's the thing about a lot of these shows are that they all need a strong pilot to get made. And so I'm just watching the pilot that's really cool about these shows. And I think that it was good. It's about a young kid who is being interrogated during being a part of a murder case. And so you have the kid, you have their parents, you have the inspectors that are checking out the entire thing.
Oh, wait, I do know what this is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so it's pretty good. It's apparently like one of the most lauded shows of this year. So I think it was pretty cool. And
I know
worth a
more
watch.
about the discourse around this than I do about this.
Same, as well as I know more about the filmmaking around this, because there were so many shots of like there would be a moment, and then you would film it and have all the characters, and then somebody would take the camera rig that's steadied and then like lock it onto a drone, and the drone would fly away. So stuff like that is really cool. And what I think, frankly, a lot of shows that are trying to break into the market need is like crazy behind the scenes, a crazy premise that allows for a lot of people to talk online. Because if you're not relevant online, then who knows if anybody will watch your show. And this show felt like it really hit a lot of those touchstones. Is there anything you want to talk about like around the show?
Yeah, it was just like a lot of people were talking about how frustrating it was in terms of like its representation of the cops and how cops treat kids.
Yeah.
And this weird line between kids and like juvenile versus adult.
Yeah, sure.
Interrogation, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But like that's not what we're here for.
No. So yeah, I'd give it an A from what I saw. I thought it was pretty good.
A for adolescents.
A for adolescents.
This is a real spelling channel.
Yeah. The next one is The Studio, the Apple TV Plus Seth Rogen.
I've only seen the memes.
I like it. It is a Curb Your Enthusiasm, in my opinion, for the filmmaking industry. And it's just fun because it's less of, they're lampooning the entire idea of like what, like it reminds me of, there's this big executive guy that's played by Bryan Cranston. And it reminds me of the guy that David Zaslav, where he's just coming up with the stupidest idea and being like, go make it. And like, there are these artists that are like, well, I want this to mean something. But then literally they have a moment where like Bryan Cranston's like, we make products to sell things. We do not make art. And the guy's like, okay. And like, so Seth Rogen is like really trying to like see what that means for him in his career. And then you have all of these incredible actors and directors that just show up in the background. Like Martin Scorsese's in the first episode, and it's really fun. Like he just shows up and like talks. It's great. It's great to
Apple
see.
TV Plus.
Yes. So I enjoyed it, and a lot of the memes are really fun. So overall, I think that it is an enjoyable experience. I'd give it an A probably. It's worth your time, but I don't know if it's worth an Apple TV Plus subscription.
A for Apple TV Plus.
There we go. Perfect. So next one is Your Friends and Neighbors. I only have one thing I want to mention about this, but have you seen the show?
I don't even know about it.
You know that meme of John Hamm like dancing?
Yeah.
That's from this show.
Oh.
So that's all I wanted to mention, was that this show only got on my radar, even though it's in like season 3 or something like that, because John Hamm dancing has become my favorite meme of this year, because like the song from it is really good. So whenever people do it, it's just kind of funny to me that they're just like, when like it's just like when they get your name right at Starbucks and then they do this and then it turns into whatever. It's just like a very wholesome meme. And apparently the artist that made that song made it like 10 years ago and thought nobody would care. And now they're just like, oh, cool. Well, this is nice. I'm being appreciated. So it's pretty cool. So I'll give that. Hey, Keon wanted to talk about it.
Cool.
Now moving on to the show I know you want to talk about, which is Alien Earth.
Oh my god. Okay, so this is the controversial one where like everyone and their mom either loved it or thought it was the biggest piece of trash ever. And this is all I can say. If you thought that this camera, right?
Yes, yeah.
If you thought that the people in it were acting childish, it's because you're stupid. Because the characters in it are literal children that have been put in adult bodies. So when the actors do incredible body work to demonstrate that they are a scared little 12-year-old in the body of an adult who has the strength to bench press a spaceship, that's acting. That's what acting looks like, you stupid little monkey man.
I get that. I get like
I can't. The discourse around this is heinous because it's exceptionally well, and also they like bring back like the black actor who plays the Wayland Yutani, like what's it called, like what's it, company man.
Oh,
like
sure,
basically
sure, yeah.
like there is like a version of the Nostromo that like crashes. Like that's the ship that crashes.
Oh,
I was
okay.
carrying the specimens.
Yeah.
And there was only one survivor from it, and he is like, he has nothing left. His entire character is like, I live to serve Wayland Yutani, and
fun.
I will do heinous things to anyone, including terrifying and threatening these small children trapped in adult bodies to get what I want. And it's well written and it's so well done.
There's something so satisfying to me about like Fallout show, about Severance, where there's just someone that is a corporate like cog, and they're just like, this is my whole thing.
Yeah, this
and
is he does a full Milchek. And then also like again, the people who play the kids act so well. They have so many little ticks that's just like they're just like if you ever seen a toddler get mad about something and they just have that little like I don't like that I have to do this. I don't like that you're telling me what to do, whatever stuff. And like, yeah, they nail it every time. And it's extra funny because you're watching Timothy Olyphant have to correct. Yeah, he's he's like the synth in charge of the kids.
Okay, sure.
So like you're watching this like stone-faced, like you don't know if he actually cares about anything or he really cares about everything guy.
Yeah.
Who's constantly like trying to like take care of them and do like his job and wrangle 5 literal children.
Well, it's funny because as you describe it, I'm like, and that's an alien show? Like, that's what I find funny about a lot of these properties. It was similar when we talked yesterday about like the Naked Gun, where like there are properties that when you picture it, you can think of what it's going to be like. But then when they go in a different direction, they're like, yeah, but this is like more interesting. Then a lot of people tuning in would be like, what does this have to do with the property that I tuned in for? I want to see Sigourney Weaver light an alien on fire. So yeah, I get where people are coming from, but that sounds pretty fun.
No, it's even better than that because the entire point is like the reason the Nostromo in the original Alien like diverts is because they wanted to go to L3, whatever that planet was called, to get a sample of the aliens. That was not that was not an accident. Ash basically is actively working against Sigourney or Ripley's character to ensure that like the xenomorph is brought on board so that they can bring it back. And this story is like a prequel to that where they're showing you like, yeah, they've been trying to get these wacky specimens and learn things about them for ages. And they show you like this corporate like power play happening between these two industrial titans, so you get to like see like
that's pretty fun. There's a lot of corporate espionage.
That's the thing, like it does massive world building. It introduces all sorts of like new things while keeping in mind that like, yes, the aliens are terrifying monsters, but the real monster is always people. Like in the original Alien, people forget the monster is people.
Yeah.
And then there's all like they just are constant like ways that like the plot compounds on itself. And I think the one thing everyone hated the most was just the fact that the main girl like learns to talk with and interact with and kind of like becomes the like the I guess like I won't just say mother but like big sister to the actual xenomorph.
Oh,
and
weird.
It kind of feels weird because it's like, why is this happening? But at the same time, it doesn't, because it's saying like that it's happening for a reason in the story. Like it is logical both from a storytelling standpoint and from the internal logic of the like world.
That's something that I also grapple with sometimes, is the fact that like a show will say that somebody is like a philosophy major, and then somebody else mentions something about philosophy, and it's not that they don't know it, it's just that they don't like mention it. And it's just like, well, you should know this or whatever from like the reviewer's standpoint or like the watcher, but it's also just like, yeah, but for the story's sake, they've made it so that it makes more sense and is intriguing in the story for you, the audience. It's fine if in the real world a philosopher would blah blah blah, but like it makes sense for the story. So I appreciate that when like you're watching a show and you're just like, I get where they're going. It's okay that you know it's not
everything worked. I liked where it was going. I'm excited to see more of it.
Sure. So you giving it an A or an S?
I want to give it an S.
We're doing it.
So I'm giving it an S. I will spit in the face of everyone who tells me it's supposed to be A. It's an S.
I want to blow everyone's mind with this tier list when we're done. The next one is The Chair Company. You've seen it?
Yeah, baby.
I have not, and I've only seen clips, and that's the entirety of Tom Robinson's like career I've seen, is just in the funniest clips I've ever seen online. But I feel like the shows are way better.
Yeah. This one was a case of I kind of thought it was going to go in a different direction, but I really did like it was funny. It was weird. It was exactly what you'd expect from him, but he plays it a lot more straight than you think he would.
Huh.
So like I felt this one, I guess depending on who you'd ask, like where it ends kind of makes it go from like an A to S to almost like an A to B tier.
Oh, really?
Because I really wanted it to just be one season. I wanted it to be like one wild season, and then we get to the end and we're like, and that's it. But then they're like, no, there's more. And you're like, that doesn't feel like there should be.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I get that for the fact that they probably want to do more of the show, but Some shows, I mean, yeah, they kind of run out of steam. So are we thinking A or B, or what do you think?
I'm gonna actually have to put it. I feel like I owe it to a person I've had long discussions about this show with to put it in B tier.
Okay, B tier it is. There we go.
But it is definitely worth a watch if you like Tim Robinson stuff. And for a Tim Robinson fan, it is A to S.
That's fair. And so this next one, I really have nothing to mention, but I didn't know if you'd seen, which is It, Welcome to Derry. So the sequel to the It movies, they made it into a show.
That was a prequel.
Sorry, sequel is in like the next one, but you're right, it is a prequel. So it's like the early days of Derry,
Yeah, it's supposed
dealing
to be
with the
like
clown.
the first time he shows up or something.
Yeah, I think so. Which is interesting. What I've heard, and this is the thing is I haven't watched it, but I heard that like it does a good job of like explaining the monster in a better way than the actual, both the movie and that limited series that happened in the 90s, where it actually like presents it in the form of like, this is an entity, it's not a clown. And so that's kind of cool. I hear that it does a good amount with that, but like, I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I was curious if you had anything to add.
I haven't seen it. I wasn't particularly interested in watching it, but I'm also just not a Stephen King dude. So like,
But you have such an opinion.
I have such an opinion.
Yeah.
So I would put this in didn't see.
Let's do it. There we go. We finally used the category. And now for the last two, which one of them I have very little to mention because I meant to watch the first episode and see like what all the hubbub is about. This is the annoyance with like Stranger Things, is that Stranger Things from the get-go was like a meme enterprise in which it got so big and it gave Netflix such a leg up because the initial premise was so cool. There's a kid stuck in a parallel universe that can communicate via Christmas lights. Like, that's awesome. That's a great way to get people hooked. Yeah.
Like, you remember those toys from your childhood? Imagine if they were plot relevant.
Yeah, sure, exactly. Yeah, like similarly to like Ready Player One, where it's like, you know, all the nostalgia you have, it's useful. Isn't that cool? So for this, now that they're finishing it, it has hit overdrive where I'm getting so much of it spoiled for me just because they're all memeable now. And I want the series to be good overall, but like, I don't know if this was a joke or not, but the Duffer Brothers said that they had talked to Netflix and told them the 5-season arc before they finished season 1. And I'm like, season 1 it felt like it was meant to be self-contained and had like a sequel bait at the end, just like any other like 80s movie. It didn't feel like there was an entire arc for the whole show.
Yeah, I feel like if you watched season 1 of Stranger Things and then just stopped, it would have been perfect.
Sure, yeah.
Like, it really is another example of like my ongoing issue of like, there's so many things that I think should have just been one and done. Like, I strongly believe Boondock Saints, the first one was enough. It ended in a good spot and they just kind of ride off into the sunset and have their little adventures and you can just think whatever.
But it made money.
I know.
So they want more money. And it is really funny though, seeing all of that. I feel, okay, so first of all, I feel bad for child actors. They have their entire lives being scrutinized. And if they're not like the most wholesome, cool kid that then like kind of deals with their own trauma in silence, then like they get scrutinized a lot. So Millie Bobby Brown, I don't know much about her, but she's been, you know, scrutinized to hell and back. But like, man, the fact that they age so much through the show is genuinely very funny.
It's a whole decade, and ironically, I feel like Millie Bobby Brown is the one who got the shortest end of the stick. Like, none of the other kids really got screwed over that bad.
Well, so much so that I think that all they did was like try to act wholesome from what I saw in like public. And so then everybody's like, oh, well, they're cool, but she's the weird one. When it's like, I don't know much about her. She could be the weird one, but like, it's primarily like people getting on her case about her actions when she's just a teenager, now young adult. So, oh, well. I thought that it was worth talking about, but did not see. So
no. I have opinions. I've been watching more than enough of it to have an opinion of where it should go.
Where?
I have watched all of it except for the most recent episode, which should have come out today.
Wait, you've watched? So you watched this season?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you hadn't caught up. No,
I've
you tell me.
all the way up.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay. It is, in my humble opinion, D, maybe C.
Really?
It is. You're not watching it because you're like, oh, this is good.
Wow.
This is like every good idea they have is immediately destroyed in the execution.
Really?
Yeah, you have like a
no spoilers, but tell me.
Well, it's like I don't like, but I actually like, but it's like, okay.
Yeah. Spit it out.
It was not spit it out. It's the way they drag it out across 4 episodes.
Okay.
And they're like planting seeds, but also it's exhausting and stupid. And then he finally does it, and you're like it just felt like it didn't matter at all.
Well, it reminded me of last season where like they're doing this whole like across the country drive.
Yeah.
And you could tell what they're like, this will happen, don't worry. And then it takes so long to get there that you're just like, it felt like Game of Thrones when they're like, don't worry, there's going to be dragons. It'll happen. And you're like waiting all season. You're just like, okay, well, I don't even care anymore. So I don't know about this season, but that sounds annoying.
And then the other thing is, was it Robin? The
yeah,
girl?
yeah, the one,
so, like,
from the pirate ice cream.
Her, like, I think all the characters are fine. They do that obnoxious thing where they have to over-explain everything with a metaphor. But for some reason, I swear to God, the writer who was in charge of her lines really thought he was cooking. And I mean he.
Sure.
Like, there's no logical reason a woman would give this person any of her lines. Because there is literally a line where she's like, I love dick. The lesbian character says, I love dick. And you're all looking at the screen like, you're not like, oh, that's funny. You're like, what? Did they?
Was it meant to be a double entendre? Or
it's like, and then eventually she's explaining like the Great Escape. They called their tunnels Tom, Dick, and Harry, and the tunnel Dick. Blah blah. Like the metaphor doesn't actually even work in this like, I know we're talking about the tunnels, and there's the tunnels for the thing, and also you guys have to like retcon 6 things into the season for it to make sense. But also, it's just such bad storytelling. Just don't do it.
That's super
so
annoying.
Solid D.
Okay.
For Dick.
God. We'll do that.
So put Stranger Things into
sucks.
D.
That sucks. Ew. Okay. Well, a palate cleanser for me is Heated Rivalry. Do you know much about Heated Rivalry?
I know a lot about it, but I haven't seen much of it.
I saw the first episode, and like I said, incredibly good pilot style episode where it is, if y'all don't know, if you have a significant other, they've probably heard about this and have watched some of it.
I want to believe it's like Yuri on Ice, but with hockey.
The sexual tension is so much more palpable than in Yuri on Ice. I mean, it's meant to be. Like, it's genuinely about 2 hockey players that are gay and attracted to each other. And, oh boy.
Oh, baby.
It's very good.
I gotta go watch this right after this.
I've heard, unfortunately, there have been a big contingency of like hockey fans that are acting maybe not overtly homophobic, but are being mean about the show, when like I think the show is about an interesting thing, that not only this is like the career of these 2 hockey players that are in a rivalry, but also like apparently like very few hockey players have come out as gay, and if they have, it's been a whole issue. So I think that's interesting, and it is, if everything that I've just said so far about the show makes you interested, definitely go watch it. It is very reminding me of like early HBO like shows that got notoriety because they were like about sex. And so it's just like, oh wow, this is so cool and edgy. And this felt like that in the form of like, this is a good show and the sex is a big part of it. So it's great. So I highly recommend it. I would give it an A so far. I really enjoy it so far.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So that is our TV show tier list. Look at all these beautiful shows, and some we didn't like.
It seems that I'm the only one who watched the S tiers.
Yes. Oh my God, you're right. I saw the first episode. Shut up. Okay, so moving on to our anime
tier list.
There really isn't too much in this one either, but I think that there was some really good anime this year, or at least anime that I was just like, yeah, you know, each week I'm excited to tune in and see what wacky thing happens next. So we're gonna start off with Solo Leveling. We both caught
watched
up,
it,
yeah. So a new season came out of Solo Leveling this year, and it for me paid off everything that was being teased, because everybody kept telling me in season 1, it's literally the name of the show. Dude is there and he's doing what I think every like young adult male protagonist is doing, which he's just getting like stronger and stronger, and it's like, oh cool, I want to be like that. And you don't consider like the actual stakes. Like, it's more of he's put into these crazy situations and is just lay epic and like handles them.
Here's my problem.
That was season 1, I'm saying.
So, well, then what do you think about season 2 then?
I enjoyed it for the fact that when you build a character that's like Superman or like One Punch Man, you need to build a catastrophic moment that you're just like, I can't wait for him to show up. And I think they did a really good job of that this season. The entire season was just like building up to this moment, and the moment was satisfying and cool. And I think it built for me that expectation of like, okay, we're gonna have the ending better fulfill my expectations, and I thought that they did a good job, and they kind of teased the actual broader world far better than season 1 did. So I felt like season 1 felt more like a mid-season break than an actual, finishing of season 1. But what did you think?
So I felt here's the thing. I love Solo Leveling.
Do you
Because
really?
it's
Okay.
like my exact oh yes, the boy who everyone pooped on is suddenly the strongest,
Yeah.
most handsome boy.
Sure, fair enough.
Who wouldn't love that?
Mm-hmm.
Little Cameron, that was the greatest show in the world.
Yeah.
But adult Cameron is like, this is potato chips.
But that's
This
what I
is-
mean. Yeah, like
this
a
is
young
just the
adult.
This is just the potato chips of TV shows. Like
Sure.
you're eating it, and you know it's not good for you, and you know the story's
Exactly,
not that
yeah.
good, and you know nothing about it is that good. And the most annoying thing about it is like, here's the thing: is like, I'm glad you brought up One Punch Man, because this is why I like One Punch Man, and especially One Punch Man season 1,
Sure.
and didn't like this.
Don't worry, we'll get to season 3
in the
later.
same way.
Yeah.
Wait, One Punch Man season 3 came out?
You haven't heard about this?
No.
Okay, we need to talk about it next. Go on,
Okay.
finish.
So what happens is One Punch Man season 1, he's just like so beyond human problems.
Yeah, sure, exactly. Yeah.
He's transcended them. Whereas this guy is still like somehow dealing with human problems, even though at any moment he can backhand his way out of all of the like he's literally gotten to the point where like he's enslaving monsters that are stronger than most of the
Yeah.
country's actual heroes.
Yeah, like S rank.
Yeah,
everything.
like
Yeah.
if you have like 3 generals that can kill most of the guys you walked into the fight with, why do you ever have to stop to do anything? Just kill them.
The moment I knew that this is the most wish fulfillment-y show ever is that when the very cool S tier Hunter shows up and she's just like, he smells really good. I'm like, okay, here we are. This
she's
is
got boobs.
silly. And so, yeah, I think that the show, everything you just said,
It's so potato chips.
it is potato chips, but it's like entertaining and exciting to watch. So were we thinking like A or B?
I was B.
Yeah,
I'm
let's do
solid
B.
B.
It's fine. And on that note, we have to talk about One Punch Man.
Okay.
So you didn't know anything about season 3 at all?
No.
I haven't seen it on principle. Apparently, from what I've heard, they gave season 3 to an animation studio that is kind of broken up into a couple different things. Some animate like adult film, other animate slice of life. None of them really handle shonen anime.
Really?
So a lot of it is like Blue Lock. Did you hear anything about Blue Lock, the later part of the season, where it's literally like a PNG just moving across the screen? And it's like for One Punch Man, you're doing that, and this is for like a big season that's supposed to set up literally like one of the biggest fights ever in season 4, and it's really bad. So that alone, not good.
I didn't even know it came out.
Because you haven't been following the degenerates I follow. Because not only that was revealed, but also there are very obvious art issues with the show, to the point where people are asking like, this can't be that incompetent. They had to have used AI. And it's debated on if they did use AI or not. But there are moments that's just like, I think this was just a small studio that was crunched really hard. And they are also in charge of the next season. So it's really sad. And specifically, there are moments where like a PNG of a character will be like, you know, if you're in Photoshop and you're masking out something and like someone's hair is cut off by the image, so like this part isn't there. There are like literal PNGs of characters where like the top of their hair is cut off and stuff like that. Like the look on your face when you heard that like season 3 came out was so full of joy, and I'm so sorry to completely strip that from you, because it's gonna disappoint you. So
It's like find out you got a new car only to find out the car's already been totaled.
yes, and the worst part about it is that like one of the episodes is literally the lowest rated anime episode of anything on IMDb. Genuinely, across the board, everything.
I'm gonna go back to only rewatching One Punch Man season 1 over and over again and pretending that there's nothing else.
It was so good. It's such a perfect season of a
Yeah.
show, and it like sets up everything later, but you could just enjoy it by itself. The ending fight is incredible. Anyway, so I definitely got to give that a Keon wanted to talk about it, because if not, I would.
You don't
give
want to
a
put it
D.
in D tier?
I didn't
Just
watch
put
it.
it in D tier.
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna be that guy.
All right, respectful.
But now getting back on track is Sakamoto Days. Did you watch all of Sakamoto Days? Did you watch any of Sakamoto Days?
I don't think so. I don't know. I didn't hear about this.
Sakamoto Days is kind of fun. It's on Netflix, I'm pretty sure. And what it is an anime about stop me if you've heard this before, but the best killer in the world retires and doesn't want to do it anymore. and then he's thrust back into the world of killers. But it's really fun and cute.
I've seen John Wick.
Yeah, exactly. It really does have a lot of that energy, but the fun part is in that John Wick style where like literally he was the best killer. He was part of this elite task force team. And so they come back into his life in the form of like, I think there's like a renewed contract on his head. And so it's very Spy Family about it, where he now is retired. He has a wife. He has a child. It's very like Northern Lion. He reminds me a lot of Northern Lion, but he is now like very overweight and he just wants to run this shop, but he's also still an incredible killer. So he can like beat anybody in a fight still.
Okay.
And it's fun for all of the tangential characters because his whole thing, he's also voiced by Song Wan Cho. Yeah. It's great. It's a fun show. But he takes two proteges under his wing that both want to be killers, or they have other stuff going on. And he's trying to teach them to be like way of the house husband, like here's how you clean your clothes and here's how you make food. And it's
I am also way of the house husband, so I would know.
And so I enjoy it for that. It's definitely not the best thing ever. It is very popcorn, potato chips.
That sounds amazing though. That sounds better potato chips than Solo Leveling though, because at least like has something fun to do. It's like a character who's actually struggling with something as opposed to, I just want to be the best killer that I already am.
It's meant to be John Wick about it and like a cute John Wick style, like it's Way of the House Husband mixed with a little bit of John Wick, mixed with a little bit of Spy Family. And it's good for that.
That sounds great.
It's very slice of life in some episodes.
Well,
and those are good. So I would give it like an A. It was worth watching. It was fun, but not like not worth watching in a you really are excited for the next episode, but worth watching in like, oh, this is pleasant, and I'll watch the next episode. Similarly like Spy Family. So the next one is Castlevania Nocturne. Did you see season 2?
No.
Oh man. I was really surprised with how much I had seen the first season and was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then it ends on a cliffhanger and you're like, oh, okay, well, what's going to happen with all these characters? What's even going on? And then season 2 starts. And you're like, oh, this is like a completely different, like, so season 1 basically ends with like this big cliffhanger of like, what are our heroes going to do? And then this entire season is you just being like, okay, when do we get to the cool like final stuff? But as it goes along, stuff still builds and all of the characters have their own stuff that they need to get over. A lot of characters like are in danger in exciting ways. But like for Castlevania, there's like lore. There are characters. There's stuff you want to see. And then in this one, it's like, hey, here's some of the stuff from the show, not the game, that come back. And you're like, oh, cool, great. And so it's surprising to me that the show can like actually keep its own lore and not really rely too much on the games. There's stuff from the games that's kind of cool, but genuinely like it builds its own like iconography that is really fun and cool, and genuinely some of the best like imagery I've seen. Not the best animation. The animation's pretty good, but
I'm
like,
not sure if you're selling me on this.
I don't know how to say it. Like
it sounds like you're like, yeah, as a guy who liked the thing when picture did move.
I like the characters a lot. Like, well, it's Richter Belmont. So you're like, okay, cool. What's he going to do? They play him a little too young, in my opinion, because like Richter he had like a very gruff and silly voice in Symphony of the Night. But like, well, it is season 2. So him and Alucard get to hang out. And I'm like, yay, I like Alucard. He's back. And so those are elements that I'm like, all of these characters like interacting together and they all have something to do, especially in like the later fights. So I don't know if that sells it. There are some unresolved character issues at the end of last season that then come up and you're just like waiting for all of the characters to like resolve their arcs, and they do it in satisfying ways. I don't know if that's...
Put it on the tier list, I guess.
It's pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm going to give it an A.
All right.
I enjoyed it more than last season. And last season was very good. Next one is Invincible. What do you think about Invincible now?
This one, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't care about Mark.
Yeah,
but
same.
There's still like so much fun stuff happening in the world that I still like want to see, and like the fights are still well executed. Like it just feels like a B, maybe a C, but still a B. Like it's like when it comes on, it's like I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna not watch it. But at the same time, I feel like the frenzied energy that made me interested in the first place is not there anymore.
So apparently they're trying to adapt season 1 to a movie. Season 1 makes a lot of sense for a movie. The latter seasons are feeling more like a comic book series. Same thing with like The Boys. Like they've kind of fallen off.
It is a comic.
Well, no, I know, but I mean like to the point where it just feels like there's a monster of the week or there's some smaller things. We're not getting towards an actual resolution. There is like building up towards an actual resolution to the entire plot or the entire story. But overall, like, this season did not feel like a full story. I was really pissed off with like the beginning of the season and what they set up for the end of the season. The end of the season was fun to watch, but like genuinely, like I was just sitting there like, I don't really care too much about that. I'm more interested in all these characters. And the characters get their time and it's fine. But man, I just really, I was waiting for Omni-Man to show up like every episode. Mm-hmm. So all the stuff that happened with Mark was just annoying and slog to get back to Omni-Man.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's just like solo leveling. It's just potato chips.
Like it's funny the only thing that makes me want to watch it is seeing all of the meme like comic book images come to life of like Omni-Man being like, I think I missed my wife. And that's it. It's really memeable. So yeah, I'd give it a C, maybe.
Okay, I'll take C. We can
compromise. On C or B. Let's do C. Yeah, let's do that. The next one is Devil May Cry. Did you watch the Devil May Cry show?
No.
This is by the same people, or at least the same like producer that made the Castlevania series. Mm-hmm. And so he's trying to adapt a lot of video games for Netflix. And this was a big misstep, frankly, because man, is Devil May Cry a pretty simple story with pretty simple characters that get to just act cool. And this just had, I'm glad that Johnny Young Bosch came back as, well, he usually plays as Nero in the Devil May Cry series. So to have him play Dante was really silly. Hopefully they replaced it. I don't even know how to describe that. Apparently, like, there was a whole circumstance around the original voice actor, like, getting into a bunch of hot water. So they had him show up. I love him. I love his voice. But the show has very little to do with the game series, and it's really annoying. Did you play the Devil May Cry games?
Yes, yeah. I was bad at them.
So this is for more or less people that know of Devil May Cry and less about people that enjoyed, like, genuinely, if they just made Devil May Cry 3 into a show, it would have been awesome. And there are parts of Devil May Cry 3 that show up, but like when Lady shows up with her task force, it's like, what are we doing, man? Like, it felt like they needed to add and pad more stuff to make it fill out a whole season of a show. But like, man, all the stuff that was happening with that task force was really freaking boring. And the teaser at the end, the only thing that made the show worth watching was this teaser at the end and everything with Dante. Everything else felt really silly and not worth your time.
So is this a D for Devil May Cry?
I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to do it. I don't have too much to... It really felt like something I had to, like, defend to people. Everybody was like, this sucks, and I didn't have a good time. And I'm like, well, it wasn't that bad. You don't want to be that guy. I didn't like being that guy. The next one is something that I watched half of the season. I didn't know the season kept going on, which is To Be Hero X. Did you finish the season?
I finished it.
Oh, okay.
I finished it. It ends in like a weird cliffhanger spot.
Well, so
because
a main thing about To Be Hero X is that it is completely linked to the Bilibili app, which we don't have here in America, but it is a Chinese app. And the entire show is about, if you really love a character and like a hero and you give them your trust, then they become stronger and they become even better. And so that was a way for them in the app to say and vote for like, who's your favorite hero? And so I think this entire season couldn't have ended a different way because they're like, next season, all of your votes will be counted and we'll make a plot based off of it, which is pretty cool. But like some of the heroes, like once it got to the mid-season, I was like, this used to be about something fun, and now it's really boring.
They keep the problem is the time jumps because they're using time jumps to do world building and lore and stuff. But you're also like, we started in a very different place than where we are now.
Yeah.
And every time jump kind of ruins the internal logic of the plot set up in the previous time jump.
Yeah.
And at some point you're just like, what is the actual point of these characters interacting? And I think they kind of brought it home at the end. Like they still, here's the thing is like, they are really by the seat of their pants.
Sure.
And they still found a way to tie all those loose threads into a knot. It's just not a pretty knot.
Well, it reminds me of like when you give maybe 4 or 5 different studios the same overarching like world and say like, oh, make like stories in this world.
Yeah.
And so the first couple episodes with like Nice was awesome. Like it really gets you invested. And then the other stuff with was it Cyber or whatever guy, the robot guy, that was really good. Like all of the other stuff with some of the heroes, like some of them are really great and you're excited and you want to see what's happening. And then it just drags and you're like, okay, well, I don't really care about Lucky Cyan. Like, this is getting annoying, frankly. And so that's why I dropped off. I was like, the beginning had an incredibly good art style. It's very similar to Arcane, but then they would cut to these animated segments.
Yeah.
And then it started getting more and more animated. And
Like the further back you go, the more simplistic the animation style goes. And I wasn't sure if that was an intentional thing or just a budget thing.
I did hear that it was. I heard that it was actually linked to like a character's power, and that was why it was happening like that.
Well, that is very clear because X's power, like the moment X shows up, it is distinctly like when he uses his powers, the art style changes.
Sure, exactly.
So like at the end of the show, I think that was like, that did feel special.
Cool.
Like the moment X shows up, all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're back.
Which is in like a trailer. Like they show that's kind of his thing.
It's so freaking annoying that they're like, we're gonna ruin the show basically for 10 episodes so that when we give it back to you, you feel special.
That's the issue.
It's like imagine you're eating dinner and they're like, all right, so we brought out a delicious meal for you, and then we're gonna make you eat a raw potato so that dessert tastes really good.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So this one, I hate to say it, but like, because when it's good, it's really good, but when it's bad, it's really bad. So I'll give it a B.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. I think that's fair. And it's funny because the first episode I'd show to friends and they'd be like, I need to watch the show. Like, it's so good and it catches your attention. And then as you keep going, you're just like, okay, can we get to the cool stuff from the beginning? So yeah, the next one is Gachiakuta,
something Trash Man.
Yeah, Trash Boy, the anime.
Trash Boy fall out of sky, now he die.
I only saw the first episode and it felt like, okay, this could be fun. It didn't feel like this is an incredible premise that has such deep lore and will be fun. It was like, no, it will be fun. It's like, this is just a cool, simple premise. It's apparently by the protege of the either animator or mangaka of Soul Eater. And it feels like that.
Yeah, no, it's visually you can tell.
Yeah, and I like that because I don't know if the plot is similar, but like Soul Eater felt fun. Like
I loved Soul Eater.
Yeah.
I loved Soul Eater, but Soul Eater was distinct in terms of the characters each had a fun energy that played off each other, and the way they were paired with their weapons that also, like, the weapons are alive. So the characterization of the weapon further deepened like the overall like plot development.
Yeah, and there is like a magic system in that. I don't know if there's any of that in the Trash anime.
But in the Trash anime, there is a magic system. Let me explain real fast.
Sure.
The magic system is supposedly like, it's based in like,
dirtier you get,
kind
more
of.
power.
It's literally like, if you like something, like the world is so dirty, and there's certain people that like they have this magical power that like if you take care of something really good, all of a sudden you can bring out its potential.
Okay, that's fun.
Then it transforms into like a really cool weapon or something.
Okay.
And the main character is one of these very unique people who can bring out any random thing's full potential and use it up. So like once they're done using it, that thing like basically gets destroyed.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, that sounds really cool.
It does.
This seems like it has a lot of potential. Let's make him the least interesting character in the world, make him insufferable to watch, make everyone around him kind of just the worst, and also draw everyone in the most obnoxious way possible. Because I don't know what it is about this, because it's like, you watch One Piece and you're like, the women in this are drawn away.
Away.
And you're thinking to yourself, that's not great. But there's something that's like, somehow it's even worse than this, where it's like, they're not just like, they're like an anorexic fetish.
Ugh.
It's just like, you can't like look at anyone in this show without thinking like, do you guys need a doctor?
I'm not a huge fan of that kind of art style where they just draw everybody like Ken or Barbie dolls. It's just like, this is unrealistic and weird. But yeah, the magic system sounds kind of cool. And it reminds me of, there's like a cultural thing in Japan where you refer to like items as like Mr. or Mrs. or whatever, and you're supposed to revere them and like,
and that's a deep Shinto like belief in terms of how like things have souls.
Sure.
And that is like what I thought was really cool about this, because I was like I've played around with ideas like that in my writing and stuff, and I was like, that to see them like, oh, they're gonna like do something cool with this eventually.
Okay,
maybe.
Fair. But yeah, I had heard about it and thought it would only be like a 12 episode season, and then it's like 20 something, and I'm like,
and it drags.
Okay, I gotta catch up. So yeah, you're thinking what, like B tier, or what do you think?
Yeah, I'd say honestly C tier.
Really? Damn, because it is
I'd give
the
it
most
T
hype
for trash if I could.
Yikes!
It's we're gonna put it in C for compost.
It's one of the most hype animes of the season, which surprises me.
And I don't know why.
Fair enough. But the next one is the most hyped anime of
Yeah,
the season.
yeah. Oh my god.
Which is
Oh my god. Put it in S tier. I don't even need to tell you. The moment they beat the giant mecha and it had like the little Zaku bits and stuff, and they were doing the like cockpit airbag thing. I was like, oh my god, it's just a bunch of Gundam memes. Oh my god, we're so back. Oh yes.
Well, like we said about like Ready Player One or all these other things where it's just like, oh, nostalgia is a currency. Like this is the show where they're like, if you've been following Japanese like media for a long time, here's all the references. They all turn out really fun. And the premise alone is fun and enjoyable. Last season ended on such a cliffhanger that I was so mad, where it's literally like one of the main characters, who's a capable woman, is now being accosted by like 4 salarymen, gross people in like a horrible situation. That really annoyed me. And so the beginning of the season, starting off with them like immediately getting their comeuppance, was like, okay, that's you're making it feel a little bit nicer. Cool, I guess I'll stick around. And then the end of that arc, ending with one of the like coolest fight scenes that I've seen, a really fun magic system, and then moving on to other characters that show up that have other cool stuff. Like each individual introduction of a different like paranormal thing, I feel like they're always just really satisfyingly.
Yeah,
like,
every character gets to do something. Every character gets a payoff. They introduce an annoying character and somehow make them endearing.
Yeah.
Like the ballet girl who sucked.
I love her. She's so fun.
She gets endearing payoffs in this season.
Yeah.
They introduced the new guy who, dude, the Gunpla stuff. I was felt so. I was one of those like I'm in this picture and I don't like it stuff. Our Gundam made so much fun of the Gundam model kit.
Good,
it was just like, excuse me, sir, which Bandai store do I have to go to? Or Bandai store do I have to go to get the our Gundam model?
Yeah.
Does it come in real grade?
I was gonna say, is there a perfect grade copy? God, I got really, it was one of those, yeah, I see myself in this and I'm upset because they even say he's like, what, they're like 14, 15? It's just like, are you a little old to be playing with those? I'm like, you shut up. You don't know
That's exactly the right age to build Gunpla. You shut the hell up. You shut the hell up right now.
It's made
I
for
build
teenage
Gunpla
boys.
right now.
Exactly. So yeah, the entire season continues to be a banger. Still don't love the presentation of some women in the show. Please stop it. But outside of that, like being weirdly horny, I'm not a fan of that part. But outside of that, everything else, amazing.
Go put it in S tier. Go put it in S tier right now.
S tier it is. I had to do my discusclaimer so that
also,
I could
just like it's such a good romance anime. I'm a sucker for some romance.
Oh my god, their hands touched. It was so good. It's such a good show. So the next one is Kaiju number 8. Have
More
you been
like
keeping
Kaiju
up?
number fine. Okay.
I thought it was pretty good.
I didn't like it. It felt like it dragged.
I like that the main character's 30 years old.
Yeah, I feel seen.
Yeah.
But no, it was just like because they were like it was cool in that we got like these kaiju suits. Like they were really trying to build that up, and they're like you're getting like a little more payoff of like the characters are like really being built up, and the problem is like the kaijus are scaling too much, and now it just feels like there's no winning.
Yeah, I would liken this to Solo Leveling in a way where the first season felt like a cool, we're introducing the world, people are getting their powers, there's cool stuff happening, for the next season to actually have something important happen. And that's how I felt about this season, is that like you're feeling, for me it felt like a shonen where it's just like, oh yeah, this is just going to be like every other shonen where something's going to happen, there's going to be very little stakes, people are just going to be like punching real hard. And then once actual strategy comes in, the kaiju have their own like stuff going on, that it felt cool enough and exciting enough that like I felt the payoff was like really good for me, genuinely, where I was just like, okay, this is going to be fun for the rest of the series. But I agree that it is like scaling really hard. You're just like, okay, well, how are they going to deal with it? And for me, I think when the stakes are really high, you can build better climaxes. So,
no, the two things that they completely fumble in this show that I think could have made it a standout show is one, because he's the older guy, the one thing they kept doing in the first season that made it exceptional was he's an older guy. He's running around and he's noticing like, oh, these things have egg sacs. So why you guys have to not just kill them, but take out the egg sac. Like
he's using his knowledge.
Yeah, he's like, he gets kaiju powers, but what makes him special isn't supposed to be that he gets kaiju powers. It's that like he has a perspective they don't.
Yeah.
And that's like, I like that in a character when they're like that weird little unique perspective. The fact that he's older, the fact that he's a little slower, the fact that he's all these things helping him give the other characters the perspective and the perseverance and the patience to do things they wouldn't normally do. And then also the fact that like there's still this question like, why the hell is he Kaiju number 8? Why the hell did that thing go after him? We still don't have like a meaningful answer or even an interesting like reason why any of that stuff has happened. It just happened to him and we've just been kind of going with it.
But I mean, that's the thing, is I think that like reveals like that only happen like way later.
And I hate that, because are we going to talk about My Hero Academia?
Yeah, we're going to get there.
Okay, let's just
I haven't caught up.
Okay, well, yeah, there you go.
Okay, we're going to move on.
You wanted to do a tier list. You should have seen this coming.
I'm going to do A tier. I enjoyed Kaiju number 8. And the fights
No. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'll give that A tier because I have opinions.
So, My Hero Academia, it ended this year, and I have not caught up since season 5.
There were like a lot of good stuff. They built up a huge amount of stuff and started paying it off in these big battles that had real consequences.
I hear the show gets like maybe not dark, but
rough.
It
gets dark. Like people are like active, like there are meaningful, tangible, permanent consequences for people across the show.
Okay.
But the thing that happens, and this is a thing that I feel like happens in so many animes, is they have this kind of cop-out moment at the very end in terms of like the big bad. Suddenly we learn just a little too, like instead of just giving us a nice trail of breadcrumbs to understand why he's a bad guy and what's going on and whatever, we have this like obnoxious, drawn out, well, it was my big evil plan, you see. I did this thing the whole time, and when this thing happened, I also did this, and you actually had no choice in the matter, and you aren't even evil. You were actually just a victim of my circumstances.
Yeah.
And so the fact that people are mean to you is because of me, and not because you have choices. And it's just one of these, like, it strips any of the, like, fact that, like, this guy's actively running around killing millions of people.
Sure.
It's like suddenly you're supposed to be like, but it wasn't his fault. It's like, I still kill people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who probably met him.
Well, that's the thing that it always annoys me about when they have that kind of cop out, is they're trying to wave away all the stuff they were, even if they weren't like actively making those decisions, which this guy presumably is. They were complicit in a very active way where it's just like, yeah, but they're like there for all of it. It is part of like they're culpable. Like that's culpable. Annoying. I'll need to actually watch it. So the problem is I don't have Crunchyroll anymore. I need to actually catch up.
I would say if you're like a diehard My Hero fan, you probably loved it and we're like, yeah, this is a pretty good way. It's a pretty good wrap up. I'd say B at most, C, honestly.
Okay.
I was watching it and thinking like, this is fine.
Yeah. And then that leads us to The Mighty Nine. Do you know about this show at all?
How is this the last one?
What do you mean? Is there another anime we should be talking about?
Yeah, okay, but let's do The Mighty Nine first, and then I'll yell at you. I need to just check this real fast.
For the millionth time, have only watched The Mighty Nine for one episode, and I just don't get it with the Vox Machina shows. They're technically not an anime because it's an American animation, but I mean, so is Invincible. My issue with it is the fact that all of these D&D style shows just make me want to. That's what it is. It makes me want to just play D&D.
Yeah, I don't want to watch you do a bad job playing D&D and then dramatize it. I want to watch me do a bad job playing D&D with my friends.
Because the main issue is that you can picture the moments where like these characters are doing something that like you can tell that there is a like a person controlling the character that's trying to do a role. And like that's the whole joke.
Yeah.
But the problem is I'm not there with them. I'm not the one.
If you ever listen to D&D podcast, the best part of the D&D podcast is not when the guy says, and I landed the punch. It's where the guy says, the gun kata improves shooting accuracy by 120%. Sure. So you have to let me roll and then add whatever, like blah, blah, blah. Like it's just like them yelling at their friend why they should be allowed to do the stupid thing.
Exactly.
And not the fact that the thing landed.
And that's the thing about Critical Role, why it's so good and why people love it. But God, I can't watch a 4-hour podcast weekly or monthly or whatever.
No,
so my main issue,
legitimately, Adventure Zone and Critical Role, I think, are like have become the most overplayed and honestly at this point stale, if not worst, D&D content out there.
I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but when I think of adapting a D&D campaign into a show, I would want the actual like you want the people playing the characters to be their own characters.
Yeah.
Like you want to see the moments that they're making. Maybe curtail the entirety of it because D&D sessions take forever, but like at least have that element of like, I think it would be funny if they just like did this and then went out of character and they showed you the room. I think that's fun. That's fun juxtaposition, and it shows you the thing. But it annoys me when people think like, yeah, but then it shows that the thing isn't real. It's like, yeah, no shows are real. They're stories. That's the fun part. We see the people writing the thing. So it's a
collaborative storytelling.
Yeah, and that's the one place where these things just don't get me. I might need to actually finish watching it. And the same thing with Vox Machina. I didn't realize
Vox Machina, having watched it,
yeah,
it's ass. It
Really?
just
Wow.
is ass. There's not like, I don't care.
okay.
I just can't care.
It makes a lot of sense considering that it is part of the most popular D&D show ever, that like the people that like the show would, the podcast would watch the show. But yeah, I think that it's
more
just
like a
not our
merchandising opportunity than an actual show.
yeah, it's just not our cup of tea,
Yeah.
I think, which is the issue. Now, what did you want to talk about? Oh my God, he's doing it. Oh, Gundam? How did I not put that down?
G-Quacks, you dumb idiot. Kido Senshi Gundam.
So
You
Gundam,
stupid idiot boy. No, I'm going to start calling you insults. You made all these goddamn tier lists and you couldn't remember the one thing I'm literally obsessed with? We even made fun of it in Dan.
so
Mobile Suit Gundam G-Quacks came out this year at a 12-episode run and it was fine.
that's the problem. I hate to say it, but nobody put it in their lists of best anime
Yeah,
this year.
I know.
So
but
in
I'm
my
still going to
research,
talk about it.
I literally went through like 4 or 5 different lists of best anime of this year. It did not even scratch any of
This
those.
is the problem. It was great in the same way that when we're talking about Mission Impossible Final Reckoning was
Sure.
great. It is a love letter to Gundam.
Fair.
It is, if you watch the original Mobile Suit Gundam and you watch Zeta Gundam and you watch Char's Counterattack and you watch Neon Genesis Evangelion
yeah.
and then you watch this, you are like, I see it all. I bask in the beauty of it. I know what's going on and I love it. And the characters are fun and everything's silly and it's wonderful. But if you're watching it as a mainline Gundam show, you're like, what the actual hell? Nothing is happening. The pacing is nuts. And I just like, I'm not actually that interested in most of the stuff going on. And then it's getting too Evangelion and not enough Gundam. And then they have to kill God.
Yeah, the end of the season was too much. As well as they leave one character to be kind of the mystery box of like, who even were they? But like that, okay, so when I heard Hideki Anno was going to be like a creative director on this, I was like, oh yay, we're going to have some Evangelion crazy stuff. And then I forgot that I don't know very much about Gundam, so I'm like, oh wait, this is Evangelion crazy stuff about a show I don't know.
Yeah, no, it
Okay,
was like there's like
so-
a scene early on when they're like recapping the 1 year war and Char like gets in the Gundam
That was
and he's
fun.
walking across and his head is and the Vulcans are shooting and it is done in the exact style of an Ava marching across the screen towards an angel. And it's like, it's beautiful because like, like if you've seen the original Mobile Suit Gundam, like, what the scene is, but at the same time, like it's completely different because Char's not supposed to be here. And it's also cool because as an Ava fan, you're like, oh wow, this like the just feels like that. It just like feels like the savagery of like an early Evangelion episode. Like there's just so many layers to it if you know the context. And then they even bring back original Gundam stuff. Like they even have like when they do the go-to commercial transitions.
Oh,
in like some of the episodes, they brought back the original shoo noise that they would do in the original Mobile Suit Gundam, just to be like, yeah, we're back. We're so back. But again, if you don't have literally almost 40 years of like anime context to sit on, or at least 5 shows worth of it, you're kind of like, it's something's happening, I guess.
Yeah, it builds a world that feels pretty divorced from Gundam in ways where they're like, okay, well, all the deep lore about Gundam, none of it happened because Char got the, got the
Char got the
RX-78.
Gundam,
yeah,
and then he painted it red, which made it 3 times faster. Everyone knows that. And then Axis Drop never happened. Instead, they tried to do it on the moon. And also Lady Castilia didn't get her head blown off by a missile launcher, which was rad as hell. The original Mobile Suit Gundam had no chill. It is the best anime. It holds up impeccably well. If you need an anime to watch right now, if you're like, I wish I could watch an anime right now, I have nothing to watch. I haven't seen the original Mobile Suit Gundam. It can't possibly be good. It came out 40 years ago. You're wrong. It's the best. It holds up impeccably. It's amazing.
Fair. I mean, I've watched episodes that you've recommended. I'm like, this is actually
They're
very
so
good. Yeah.
Rambo Rawl is a standout character, and he's not in this show, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it's for me disheartening because I expected the show to be different, but it was still fun. It just like some of the decisions, I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on.
So for the purposes of this, where are you putting the Mighty Man first of all?
So Mighty 9, I'm gonna put in like C tier for me.
Okay.
Yeah. But
And then
G-Quax.
G-Quax, well, it's not going on the list technically because someone forgot to put it there.
Yeah.
But I'm a Gundam. Like I could rewatch it right now and be like, oh, it's S tier. Oh, I could watch the little space guys do space stuff all day. But honestly, if you're like, oh, I'm coming into Gundam, should I watch this? No. This is probably a B to C tier.
I was gonna say I would give it a B tier, even though like some of the references I did really enjoy that entire episode. The flashback was so fun. But yeah, I agree that like, if you get it, you get it.
Because the other thing is crazy is like Shalia Bull is like such a minor character who dies very quickly.
Sure, yeah.
And then making him like a persistent mentor character for the entire show is kind of bonkers.
Yeah.
And then the payoff with his mobile armor is even more bonkers. Because like when I watched it and then I watched it transform, it was just like the Leo meme, the Leonardo DiCaprio really.
Yeah. So yeah, I would probably give it a like to average the both of ours an A. Fair. But like
That's not how averages work. A B plus a C doesn't make an A.
I thought you said you had an S.
I had an S for me as a Gundam fan,
Yeah.
but as a like person watching anime is a B.
Okay, then B it is. But yes, this is our anime tier list for the year, and I feel so stupid not including the Gundam anime. But okay, moving on.
The goddamn sweater, you.
I'm sorry. But now we need to move on to the one thing that I did want to talk about a lot.
Final
which
category.
There is a good amount of
Oh,
games.
you bastard.
We don't need to talk about
You
many of them.
tricked me.
So we can just skip around. Genuinely, if we haven't played the game, we're just going to skip it.
All right.
So the first one is Silent Hill F. Now, we're just going to skip this one because I realized I didn't have much. Didn't see it. Did you play Assassin's Creed Shadows? Do you know anything about it?
I know a lot about Assassin's Creed Shadows. From what I understand, it was a very good game. I just didn't play it.
It really was.
It bad because me no Lake representation.
No.
Even though it's one of the most historically accurate Assassin's Creed games.
It needed to have been released like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Like the problem is everybody was clamoring for what if Assassin's Creed in Japan? And now every other game series that has like a really great like sword mechanic has done a similar stealth style action game in Japan.
Yeah.
So like Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotei, Sekiro, all these other things
More
that
like Ghost of Woktae. Am I right? Put Ghost of Yotei on S tier, please.
I will. But genuinely, like the thing that really annoyed me is the fact that it felt dated in that way. It controls the same way as Assassin's Creed is always controlled, and it was fun. I'm not saying that it's not a bad game.
Yeah, my favorite part was when Leonardo da Vinci says, "It's me, you're a Shogun Mario."
Yes. But yeah, I agree that it is like it seems historically accurate. It's a lot of fun for those purposes, but like it did not draw me in and keep me. So I'd probably give it, unfortunately, like a B probably. And frankly, the showing that it is such a product is that when you go into the launcher, it shows you all the other games as if it's like
you could have more fun.
Yes, as if like it looks like it's part of like, oh, do you want to learn about the other games? I'm like, oh, it'd be cool to see a summary of the other, like the story so far. No, it is a menu for you to buy the other games, even though I own them, you goofball. And so not only that, but also like I just don't think that there's much of a through line of like the cool plot that was teased a million years ago by the Assassin's Creed series. And they have a DLC coming out of Attack on Titan, where you play as like Mikasa, and they just have a Titan, and you play as like in that big ice like weird place in Attack on Titan. I'm not kidding.
That's stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So yes,
let's move on.
Moving on to Kingdom Come Deliverance. You didn't really play it, probably.
No.
Everything that I've seen online of it, and I know it just became such its own meme where like the writing's fun, the characters are fun, it's really good, and I didn't play it, but like I watched a bunch of Let's Players play it, and it makes sense why it was recommended for a game of the year. I am a big fan of all of these RPGs that have like really great story in them, but again, I didn't play it, so I'm gonna put it in the did not play. The next one is Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Do you know about this?
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we
I mean,
doing
it's just
anymore?
Call of Duty again.
But this one, they have like a skibbity toilet thing is like the last boss. It's just, they know how meme to hell this series is now.
Yeah, is Fortnite
and
on this
it's
list?
obnoxious. No, because oh yeah, good point. I should just put that on the list. It's like every year they do an even cooler thing.
Well, I mean, the joke would just be like, I mean, if that's on this list, Fortnite's on this list because it's just the same game over and over again.
I mean, Fortnite
with new skins.
Fortnite did the Daft Punk thing that I liked very much.
Oh, so you
that's
put
better
that in
than-
S tier. Got
I
it.
would put that in S tier.
All right. Well, where do you
But
want
yeah,
to put it?
I'm gonna
In
put it
C or in D?
D. I'm over it. Now for the one that I actually have something to say about, which is Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Do you know anything about this?
Nope.
It's great because they took a game from 2003-ish and then they just remade it exactly how it was and they updated the graphics and that was it. I think they brought back a lot of the voice actors to redo their lines if they needed to, but it is very, very faithful to the original. And it just made me feel really good because I enjoy Metal Gear Solid a lot and was just waiting for a lot of people to like embrace the series that are like streamers. And so a bunch of people were like, oh my God, this is so fun. Like, what are the other games like? And so what my roommate in college was like very into this stuff. So he and I just started seeing, he's like, I don't need to buy this game. I already played the first game. And I like that that's kind of where we are. You don't need to get the DLC, blah, 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 whatever. It's not updated anyway. It is a fun game that they updated the graphics, made some of the mechanics a little bit better, but it is faithful. So you can play it from way back when, or you can buy this game, have your pick. So I enjoyed it for those reasons, and that everybody finally caught up with the memes. Like Ocelot, oh my God, all the cutscenes are so fun. It's so fun. Please, just go watch the cutscenes if you haven't.
Where does it go?
It's gotta go in a, there we go. Yeah. The next one is Date Everything. So Date Everything is a dating sim where you are in a house and you go around the house like literally like Doom style, and then you can click on something and then it becomes an anthropomorphic version of itself, and then you can date it, like a door or a microwave or the refrigerator. And all of them are voiced by voice actors everyone knows, like Sung-Won Cho's in it, Matt Mercer's in it. Like every single thing is voiced by a voice actor that you like, and they're all trying to romance you as a doorknob. It's awesome. It's
Wait, so the
genuinely very
doorknob
fun.
and the door are in competition?
There's different doors.
Oh, well, my bad.
It's fun. I did not like. I just watched Let's Plays of it. It was like I just want to hear the voice acting and
Yeah,
stuff
this
like
doesn't
that.
feel like
but-
something that you couldn't get through a Let's Play.
Yes, but I love that kind of thing where it's just a very silly premise. They do it well and it's enjoyable to watch. So that one's gonna at least go in a B because it was just a fun little joke. The next one is Monster Hunter Wilds. So I had the privilege of going to the Monster Hunter Cafe in Japan, and everything that they had presented around Monster Hunter was like so fun and cool to see. And then I got to watch a friend of mine play Monster Hunter Wilds, and damn, that animation is so good. I don't know much about Monster Hunter, but it seemed like everything that you would think would have already happened, and then they actually updated it. So like there's a really cool mechanic where you get on top of like an ostrich character. A lot of the plot isn't the craziest thing in the world, but all the animation, all of the monsters seem like the cool next step in a PS5 version of Monster Hunter. So do you know much about Monster Hunter?
Yeah, I know a fair bit.
Hell yeah.
It's a good game.
Yeah. So it was just fun because I got to go to Japan and go to the cafe.
Yeah, you
so.
just want to brag about going to Japan is what I'm hearing.
So I'm going to put it in didn't see, but I enjoyed it. The next one is Lies of P Overture. The only reason I want to bring this up is because this is a DLC that like people again were like, this should get Game of the Year. This is a cool addition to a Souls-like game. Do you know about Lies of P at all? It's a Pinocchio Souls-like. The P stands for Pinocchio. And they play it like Bloodborne, where all of the marionettes and robots are like horrific Lovecraftian monsters.
That's awesome.
So it is like cool. It's awesome, and the main reason why I bring it up is that the music is like so good. It's crazy. It's next level, as well as like a bunch of the bosses are fun to watch. So that's the main reason I want to bring it up. Not too much. We're just gliding on through, and wanted to talk about it. And now for my baby boy Sonic. Sonic released a racing game this year. And it was really fun. And I think Mario should eat his heart out because, oh my God, was Mario. And we can talk about Mario Kart World, but like Sonic Cross Worlds was not an open world game like Mario's was. But it was like, okay, well, we took a racing game and made it more fun. And that's all you want from these updates. So there's like a rivalry system. There are more characters from the Sega universe. Freaking Minecraft Steve's in it. Like a bunch of those, SpongeBob's in it. It's what you want from a party racing game. And then the mechanics are actually fun, and they actually, you build out your boost in a more satisfying way than Mario. So I want to talk about it. I want to give that an A. But what do you think about Mario Kart? Because you actually played Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, I hate to say it, having been a fan of many past Mario Karts, I really liked the, oh God, what is it called? The, I guess cross-world system, like the one where they link together multiple maps.
Oh,
so
sure, yeah.
Like that, I think that was
called World Tour or something like that.
Whatever it is, it's a fun mechanic where like you basically have to stay. It's like the kind of thing where you can't actually hang out in the back and then ricochet to the front at the last second, because if you stay too far back too long, you get knocked out of the game.
Yeah.
And so it is actually like they added some cool stuff, but the problem is once you've beaten everything, you kind of beaten everything, and then it's just the game that you have in your game collection until your friends come over. So yeah, I would say like it's, from what I've seen between that and Kirby Air Riders, it feels like the weakest of the entries, and yet the one I still felt obligated to play. So like it felt like a B tier.
Yeah, both of those games were like I was really hyped for, and then when I got them, it felt kind of empty. Because like Kirby Air Ride is such a fun game unto itself, and it's like a surprising game. Kirby Air Riders felt like they ported it to the Switch, which isn't a bad thing, but it's also just like, okay, well, I've already played this game. Mario Kart in an open world felt like it would be mind-blowing.
Yeah, it just felt like there should be more. And even the little challenges just don't feel that fun. Yeah. They just feel exhausting.
Like if there was the ability to unlock, I don't know, like if there were carts, the main problem is that this series, like if there were carts that you could only use in the open world, that would have been fun. But they were like, well, you're unlocking characters and costumes and carts that need to be balanced for online play because you're going to be playing with other people. But if they had more unlockables that made it so that it would be more fun for you to be in the open world, that would have been enjoyable. But I think they were like, well, we can't give you an OP cart that'll like zoom you around the world because then you're going to use it against like a 10-year-old online.
No, what I think they should have done is they should have added a track builder. They should have let you, with an open world, let you have a way to like add gates.
Sure.
At like different nodes, you could build gates and also just download other people's. So there would just be like this fresh cycle of like weird tracks.
And to which I think they might do that. The main problem is apparently Mario Kart Worlds was supposed to come out on the Switch, the original. And they're like, no, hold it back for Switch 2. Need a pack and title. It was fine. I'd give it like a B.
Yeah, I give it a B.
Yeah, let's do that. I said B. So B makes sense.
And Sonic gets what?
Sonic I gave an A because I love it and he's my favorite. Sleeper Citizen 2, do you know anything about it? We're gonna glide right past that. I'm running out of media. We need to get out of here. We got things to do on New Year's. The next one is Split Fiction. I loved Split Fiction. It's by the same people that did It Takes Two. And
it looked like so much fun, and yet in my heart I couldn't play it just because I was like, as someone who loves writing and is a writer, I was like, I don't want to play a game where a writer has all their ideas stolen. I don't want to just think about that the whole time.
And I'm going to be frank, the writing was the worst aspect of it, which is kind of funny that it's about writers and writing, but like the actual plot.
That's the joke, because they needed the
writers.
I'm so
sorry. I'm sorry I didn't get the writing was the joke.
Well, you're not, you don't have writer. You don't have the writer brain.
Yeah. So my issue was the fact that like some of the writing, some of the characters seemed overtly like annoying, or they were really trying to get this one plot point across. I could see a lot of the reveals coming a million miles away, but all of that doesn't matter because it was really fun to play. The actual gameplay is so fun in those games. You need to play them couch co-op with two people. I think you can play them online, But like the mechanics of running around, just your character running is really satisfying. And then additionally, having to, every time you go into a different story or go into a different world, you have to then adopt whatever mechanic it is. So one, there are like a baby dragon. So one person, the baby dragon, shoots fire. The other one, they glide. And so then as you keep going like that, you can then, and at any time you can switch what character whoever's playing if you want to. But then as you go, the dragons like eat some food or whatever and they get bigger. And now they have different moves and then they get bigger and stuff like that. So the ability for them to like take a gameplay concept and then completely exhibit like every facet of it, and then be like, cool, next world. And now there's another one and another one and another one. So those are elements that I think that like the game really excels at. But the plot was like, that's fine. It was okay. So I'd probably, for the fact that like it is a really fun game, I'd give it like A tier, B tier. Let's do B tier. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't amazing. Did you play Blueprints?
Nope.
Blueprints is an indie game that deserved every single laurel that it got, and unfortunately, every other incredible game came out this year, so it didn't get much fanfare. It is a roguelike puzzle game. As in, every single run is different, but there are procedurally generated puzzles in the game. It sounds groundbreaking, because it is. Genuinely, each run is uniquely different, and you land into this mansion, and you have the blueprint of the mansion, and you are, when you're trying to go into like a new room, you knock on the door or whatever, try to open the door, and then it brings up the blueprint of the mansion for you, and you get to spawn different rooms. And each room either has like a resource in it that you like get keys to unlock other doors, or it gives you food so that you can explore more, because you have a certain amount of steps you can take in a day. And so you can run out of stamina. And the idea is you need to get to the door at the end of the mansion by the end of like a certain time period. I forgot how many days it is. And so you are yourself procedurally generating this mansion you're in through the blueprints of it. But in those individual rooms are also puzzles. And if you do the puzzle and win, then you get a key. But each of the puzzles is procedurally generated. It's so good. I'm doing like a decent job of explaining it, kind of, but like pick a Let's Player, go watch it be played. And it just sucks it came out this year when so many other great games came out. I think it might have won Indie Game of the Year at the Game Awards, but like it won like, I think one thing, and it deserved far more. It's really cool. Definitely worth the watch.
All right, where are you putting it?
I got to put it in A. Very good. Now the next one is Battlefield 6. I only put this on the...
Where did we put Call of Duty?
D.
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say, I want to put it just one place above Call of Duty, because it actually...
I'm not going to explain it.
Pretty
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
I don't need to explain it.
The beta was pretty fun. Seemed pretty fun.
Watching Donkey shoot RPGs as people is pretty much the entire point.
Exactly. It's more playable than Call of Duty. The next one is Hollow Knight Silksong. Come on, everybody. They finally did it. They finally released the game. So you know about...
It's exhausting. I can't... It's exhausting. Yeah. It's exhausting. Hollow Knight was exhausting. It is exhausting. Not my kind of game. It's not my game. It's not my kind of game.
Yeah. It's tough. It's harder. It's frankly not my cup of tea. But I wanted to mention it because of all of the drama around the developers. Did you know they've been trolling their audience for the past like 6 years?
I did not know that.
The developers, Team Cherry, genuinely like will just say like, hey, Silksong next week. Like 2 years ago. Like they genuinely, they'll be like, they'll just post a picture of the Game Awards from 3 years ago, and just like stuff like that, where they're just constantly memeing and shit posting. So when, this is the funniest part of this year for me, is that I think it was Summer Games Fest, where they're like, so many cool games are coming out this year. And there were all of these other big announcements. And then they're just like, well, here's just a quick, like, you know, montage of games. And for 3 seconds is Silksong. And so all of the streamers are like, wait, what was that? What are you talking about? And so they're like, I guess Silksong confirmed for 2025. Wait, is it? Wait, what? And so the entire internet was on fire because they're like, does the game come out this year? What is happening? So there was no... at all.
I just love them making money hand over fist while like literally smacking their entire audience.
Yes.
In the face.
But the other thing that I did also want to mention is that Hollow Knight was such a big hit that they literally said, hey, we were going to release this as a DLC, but we kept having so much fun that we just made a completely other game. They made enough money for them to be comfortable to just sit there for like 6 years and just make another game and put like their heart and soul into it to be like, these would be fun. So we're just going to keep doing it. And apparently the quote that I heard was that they just kept having so much fun that they just couldn't stop making the game. which is very nice to hear.
That is very nice to hear.
So, well, I got to put that in. Didn't see because I didn't play it, but it was fun.
I played enough of it to know that I hated it.
Yes, same thing. I really wanted to like it, but I just don't have the time. And additionally, with not having the time, is South of Midnight. Do we want to just skip this? Did you know anything?
Nope.
The art style seemed cool. Okay, time to skip it. Same thing for Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders was huge this year. I think it deserved a mention, but like, genuinely, is it much different than a looter shooter?
Your standard looter shooter. I mean, the thing that is cool about it is there's a stronger trust component to it.
That is kind of cool.
Like there's not like most games where you have like kind of a mutable friendly fire. There's just a lot of more of a, hey, there's a lot of like shots of just, or like lots of clips of people being like really nice to each other when they could just blast each other off the face of the map.
Yeah.
And that is kind of like it.
Because it seems like it's kind of neutral if you did help or hurt somebody, but like, I've just seen.
I wouldn't waste my time playing that if I could play literally most other games.
I just saw Northern Lion like tricking people into trusting him and then blasting them into oblivion.
Yeah.
So yes. So didn't see, but seemed like fun.
Yeah.
And same thing with Ball Pit. Ball Pit was a roguelike. Is it I think it's like a pinball game or something like that?
No clue.
But I had just seen people play it. I thought it deserved a mention, but I hadn't played it.
All right.
I'm going to probably play it right when we're done with this. Now, Death Stranding 2. Kojima is there. He's done it. He's won. Okay. What about Death Stranding 2 do you know?
Feet.
Yes. So Elle Fanning, who we had joked was in
Badlands.
Predator Badlands, but we didn't see the bottom half of her body because all of her feet was in this game. There's a trailer where her sticky toes are going through the muck and everybody's like, what? Her toes are too detailed. What are we doing here in this video game? And it is the game. I love Kojima so much. And it's so funny because Metal Gear Solid Delta, he made that in 2003. He's left Konami, but everybody just kept saying, Kojima, you son of a bitch. This is so good. And it's just funny to me that like he can do no wrong at this point. Death Stranding 2, I did not play, but I watched the majority of the cutscenes because they are so hype. He has said that he's like, I'm less concerned with like cool, bombastic, climactic scenes than building up a scene and then letting like something you didn't expect happen. And so many of them are fun like that. For frankly, the sequences I saw for Metal Gear fans, because there's an entire character that just looks exactly like Solid Snake, and people have said, well, he's royalty-free distinct, Solid Snake. If it wasn't for the fact that Kojima put out a Twitter tweet where he said, hey, this actor actually would make a really good on-screen Solid Snake. Then he casted him in this game to look like Solid Snake. So that, as well as they finally basically do a Metal Gear. And it's awesome. And it makes no sense, but it's so cool.
All right.
So I am just a fan. I'm a fan of the series. I'm a fan of Kojima. And I just
going
think
into S for Stranding.
it's going to go into did not see because I didn't play it, but it was fun. It was very cool. So the next one is the 100 Line, the Last Defense Academy. Do you know anything about this?
That sounds so stupid. I hate that title.
It is stupid because it's by the guy that made Danganronpa. It's like his next thing. And the only reason I know about it is that it like in the presentation, they're like, the killing game is canceled. And you're like, okay, is this a new Danganronpa game with no killing game? It is, because you're playing as these characters that are in like a terrible situation, but they're like defending Earth from like aliens. And so it is, I'm glad that that guy is going on a different path than Danganronpa, because Danganronpa was really cool. It was kind of like a Hunger Games style, Battle Royale style of like all these kids are going to die one night by one, and you are solving the murder of each kid via like, what's that called? Apollo Justice, Phoenix Wright kind of thing. You give them the evidence and why. And then the last game was like a lampoon of that. The very ending was like a spit in your face, like, you guys like these games, and that's stupid. And I'm like, you made it for me, shut up. So I'm glad he's doing something else. I just wanted to bring it up because I'm glad he's moved on. Happy for you, pal.
All right.
So Keon did not play. Now Ghost of Yote, let's go into S tier, you said.
Go straight to S tier.
Okay, we're doing it.
Good gameplay, good story.
Every
good.
frame a painting. What a great looking game. Awesome. Yes.
No
So-
notes.
No notes. Very cool.
If you want to see what the situation with Ghost of Yote is, just go on YouTube.
Google it. But now for my actual 4 games I actually was really excited to talk about, which is Dispatch. Have you played through Dispatch, watched the gameplay of Dispatch?
I am familiar with the game Dispatch.
Our boy Moist Critical was in it, and he plays a bat, and it's like my favorite character.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, he plays the bat. And it's really funny because he's like a crypto bro asshole, and it's so good. So I watched his playthrough of the game, and everybody is giving it so much praise, but I just feel like everybody was really missing the Wolf Among Us, Last of Us games. Not Last of Us, Walking Dead style games, where it is a choose your own adventure is just fun. It's fun to play through. It's fun to watch. And so I miss that. And I think that the world of Dispatch makes sense for the current era. We have Invincible. We have The Boys. We have all of these, like, what if superheroes said fuck, you know? But the writing is strong enough that becoming the crux of it is fun. Every character has a sailor's mouth, and they're kind of annoying to listen to, but they all have a good heart, even though they are all, so this is the premise, all of the characters are like reformed villains that are now in like a hero dispatch. And your character is a former hero that's being like, hey, come on, everybody. We're literally in a corporate environment. I'm dispatching you to go be chill.
Yeah.
And so the story alone it's tantalizing enough for the gameplay, but then the actual story behind the characters and like all of the characters like meeting each other and hanging out. By the end of the season, I was like, this is nice. I like everybody here. So I think everybody is ready for a season 2, as well as I think that they are. I think they already announced they're doing a season 2. And the choices you make aren't that important, but they are enough that like when the big moments hit, it's really fun. So do you have anything to say about Dispatch?
Nah,
Okay.
Nah.
Okay. So I got to put it in. I don't know if I want A or S, because it is very similar to the other games we played. It's just like if they took Wolf Among Us and gave it like gameplay.
I don't know why. It just doesn't feel like an S.
Yeah, we're doing A. We're doing that. So now, probably the game I have the most hours in. Well, the couple games I have the most hours in this year, which is Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Banana.
Did you play it?
Bananas.
Do you
Yeah, I
have
played it.
You did?
We have it.
Yay! How'd you like it?
I mean, like the gameplay is like, that's the thing is like Nintendo, when they sit down and want to make a game, the controls are so good.
Yeah.
So good. Play it. It's like, oh, it's when I pick up the rock and I throw the rock, and it feels exactly like I wanted to throw the rock.
It feels like a mechanic that should have existed all along in a game. It's so well executed. It feels so good. Just smashing through the ground is so fun.
It's funny because it's like you had
Literally
Donkey
the
Kong.
A part of your brain just activates.
Yeah. Like you had Donkey Kong 64 and you're like, why haven't we had like a good 3D Donkey Kong game? And then this game comes out and it's like, oh, because we were limited by the technology of our time.
Exactly.
It's just like you couldn't, like they just like wouldn't. It's one of those things where it's like you don't know how much of what happens to Nintendo is purely money and how much is like some guy in there, some gal in there who actually is like, no, we don't make games, we make art. And we're not just gonna make a Donkey Kong because we want to. We're gonna make a Donkey Kong because that's what the technology lets us do.
It always comes down to that Reggie Fils-Aimé quote of his, where he's like, if it's not fun, why bother? And I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
That was exactly how the game felt. And then like the way the little transformations play into that is so good. I haven't finished it, but it was like in terms of just like Nintendo, I'm unfortunately a Nintendo nerd. So yeah.
You know a game's good when the first area that you haven't even gotten the plot yet. I stayed in that area for like 2 straight hours just collecting gold. And I was like, this is so fun. I love
Like
this.
I'm going to mine every inch of this space.
And then they released a DLC, which is a roguelike. Did you know about this?
No.
Where instead of collecting gold, you're collecting emeralds. And so what you're doing is
It's Minecraft.
Exactly, it's like Minecraft. And what you do is you go through the areas and you're dropped into like one of the different biomes. And then you have no upgrades. You don't have any bonanzas. Well, it depends on which level of difficulty you do, but you don't have any bonanzas. You don't have any transformations. You don't have like, rock surfing. You don't have anything. And so you need to run around and collect the gold bananas, and the gold bananas have, not only they give you emerald, but they also can give you power-ups. And that's how you unlock power-ups. You basically like make a little skill tree for yourself. And I got addicted. I played it so much. It's so fun.
That's why you didn't have time for all these other games.
Exactly. But man, Donkey Kong Bonanza is just such a joy the characters just in the picture mode, looking at Donkey Kong's face. Every time he does any animation, he's
silly
just got this
boy.
big. I love it. So that one has to go S tier. This is an all-time great game.
And the way they put in, it was Pauline, right?
Yeah, Pauline. Yeah.
You
Great
just
reveal.
wouldn't think it's like, oh yeah, she's just gonna hang out with him the whole time, and also she's a rock for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, they really had to bury the lead,
Yeah.
but it was fine. We got over it. Now the next one, which is close to my game of the year, it's very close, is Hades 2.
Yeah.
Did you play through Hades 2 at all?
I have not finished Hades 2. I played it a little. I just got it for Christmas, and I played
okay,
a little
sure.
bit, but I refused to play it until I got it for Christmas, and it is. How do I put this? It's not like I like the story of Hades 1 more, I think, so far, because I don't have that much story for Hades 2. But the
Get
gameplay
ready.
is pretty good.
It is. Hades 1 was genuinely like a perfect game where like it just made sense. It was simple.
Yeah, it
and
was.
The story was
and
fun.
also there was always like some sort of progression. Like they somehow
Yeah.
kept it fresh after the like 1000th time.
So this is the gameplay loop that they perfected and a lot of roguelikes have taken inspiration of, which is you have your roguelike action part where it's like you're playing through the game. And then there is plot or there is a resource or there's something else that when you die, you go back and do that for like maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And then you're like, okay, but for me to get more of this, which is really cool, I need to go run again. And it keeps this feedback loop that is really fun and satisfying. Hades 2 took the perfection of Hades 1 and just expanded it by nearly 3 times. And it is so rewarding. Every single part of it. There's way more characters, there's way more plot, and there's way more mechanics. Every single mechanic from the first game has a better version of it. There's another weapon that has a cooler, like each of the weapons.
Even the gun?
No,
More gun?
I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's one weapon that when you get it, you're just going to be like, Keon, why didn't you tell me about
The
this?
BFG.
You'll see.
Dude.
But there are so many mechanics where there's like an omega version of your move. Your move also has like a hold down thing. Each of the different power-ups that you had from the first game have a better version of the power-up, like the anvils. Each of the gods has a relationship in a way of like, a connection with the people back at the base, as well as you meet more people while you're on your runs. And for people that don't know, there are 2 different runs. There's not just you go from the to the underworld or whatever, but you also go to a different area. So there are 2 different roguelike sections, and both of them are so rich with plot and mechanic that I can't get over it. So I've played through all of it. I've gotten through everything. And I thought, I played through all of it in early access. So when it finally came out, I was like, oh, cool. Well, I'll just play through the plot. I let it go for like 2 months. I didn't play it because I was like, well, I don't have time and I don't remember how the mechanics are. Then I picked it up and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I finished it within like a week. Supergiant went out of their way to patch the ending because they didn't think it was good enough.
Really?
Within a month, they made a patch to the ending. And I thought that I played the patched version because I'm like, the ending wasn't bad. And then I realized that I didn't actually play through the patch. I played through the original. And I found, I watched
Wait, like
the
the
other.
gameplay also changed, or is just the story changed?
It's the story. Yeah, so that's the thing. But they re-recorded lines. Every single character has like a different reaction to the ending. It's so awesome. So for them to go through the effort of hearing like, people didn't really love the original ending, so we're going to patch it out and we're going to work a different version. And so there's if you did already play through that ending, I think there's a mode where it says like, hey, if you want to like erase just that part of the game, you can. But it is such a joy to every single line of dialogue is great. Every character is fun. The fact that even after like your 100th hour in the game, one of the characters will say like, hey, Skilla, the band. They'll be like later on in the game, they're just like, you're kind of annoying and mean. And this is why. And you like just keep the relationships with characters on like hour 100 is way different. It's awesome. I can't stop singing the praises of this game. It deserves S, but unfortunately, it's not the best game of the year. And I got to get into spoilers. So, Claire Obscura,
everyone's favorite thing, France.
I wanted you to be here because you hate France, and this is the most French game ever made.
Not just French, Paris.
Yes.
My least favorite thing in France.
Claire Obscura Expedition 33 is, in my opinion, one of the best pieces of art ever made. And you can hate me for it, but I think it's true. This won everything at the Game Awards, and you can't be mad about it because it deserves it. Clair Obscura Expedition 33 takes... you get so far in the game at the end that you're like, what even was the beginning about? And then you realize that you remember that the beginning was such a good premise. There is they've taken Paris, and now it is completely like destroyed in a crazy way.
Good thing.
Yes, exactly. I thought you would love that about it.
Yeah, I thought I would too, but it's just not enough.
So all the architecture is like blown apart. Everything looks wrong. And you see that for the past, it's I think 67 years, there has been just this monolith behind the Eiffel Tower that this paintress once a year will get up and she will change the number from like it started 100. Now it's down every single year. And anybody that is younger than that age gets to live. So if you were at 33 and the number says 33, you get gommaged and you disappear. That alone is a great premise. Super cool. You love to see it. And you're like, well, now we need to go stop the paintress. We got to do this thing. Here are all these people. And like the initial reasoning is so cool to build the world because you're on the expedition. You're one of the expeditioners, a group of the expeditioners. And so every time you go to save, it's a flag planted in the ground by previous expeditioners. So you get a little bit of plot of them saying like, hey, we died here, but here's what we learned. And they are constantly like teaching you. And so there's this big problem in video games where everybody's like, ugh, I hate when there's yellow paint that shows me where to go. In this game, that's previous expeditioners telling you where to go because they died there. It's awesome for that reason. That's a third of the plot. That's not even the important stuff. There is a huge spoiler at the center of this game that would completely ruin it for you. This is the end of the episode. If you want to leave now, this will spoil the game for you.
It takes place in France.
It takes place in France. So please leave. Thank you so much for watching this video, but I need to talk about this. Do you care that I spoil this, or should I just talk to the camera? The whole game takes place in a painting. Like Mario 64. And I'm not even kidding.
It's not even original.
That's the meme. And so the idea is that you and all of the expeditioners are actually just the imagination of this one guy. And this one guy died. And so you are actually experiencing the inner turmoil of the family around the guy that died. Every antagonist that shows up, not the monsters, because the monsters are like the imagination of the guy that died. He like drew them and they come to life inside the painting. But the paintress, that's his mom. The main, like kind of your younger sister style character, that's his sister, literal younger sister. And the bad guy dad that's played by Andy Serkis is his dad. And the only reason why the gommage is happening and everyone's dying is because the dad said the little sister and the mom are spending too much time in this painting. They will die because they're mourning the death of the son. So they're trying to experience like everything about him. They love him so much and they are just completely in mourning. That's why the entire city is like blown away, because it's like the mourning has been like paused. And the father came into the painting and be like, you two are being stupid. It's mostly the mom. The mom is the paintress. So like, you're wasting away in this painting. You need to get out. So he's using his power to try to erase the painting, but she stopped it because she's such a powerful painter that the years are going down because she's stopping it year by year. So you start off as Gustav. Gustav is one of the expeditioners. He has a character named Maëlle. Maëlle is like his adopted daughter kind of thing. As you go through the game, Gustav dies. Literally the main character fucking dies. And it's such a good scene. And then this other guy shows up and he's just like, okay, well, little sister lady, come with me. Don't worry, I'll protect you. She is actually the daughter of the father, as well as the younger brother of the brother. The guy that saves you is the brother, but he's the imaginary, like, painted version of the brother. Seems verso. And so you are now experiencing the game through the eyes of the kind of ghost of the original character that, like, the painter of this game. All of that is revealed in, like, the last moment, but it shows you how, like, the entire game is, like, hiding from you this, like, thing that recontextualizes the whole world. These aren't real people. Or are they? Because you start off the game with one of them. So you're like, well, we don't want the painting to be like erased because like all these characters are so cool. But if you're a human being that's had a tragedy happen in your life, you think like, hey, we should probably like get over this death. We should like mourn the person and move on with our lives. So it's an incredible incredible symbol for mourning death, but also like you can't
moving
just,
past grief.
Yes, exactly. And it's so good for the music. You need to hear the music. It's so awesome. It is genuinely the best soundtrack of this year. And unfortunately, it's kind of sad because the composer for a long time was on like Reddit threads saying like, I really want to be a video game composer. And he had like this huge imposter syndrome that like the studio that made this game was a ragtag group of a couple of people that came off of EA. And he reached out to them because they created a tech demo. I saw this tech demo like 8 years ago and was like, oh, that could be fun. A game where you play an RPG and you can parry the attacks. That could be fun. Well, here it is now. It's way better. But he saw that and he was like, okay, I kind of want to be your your composer if you'd have me. And then he would just send them the most banger stuff like all the time. And they're like, he's like, well, I don't know if you guys think this song's cool. And it's like literally a one best soundtrack. It's so good. So
Sam and I talk about all the weird, for some reason, kids' nursery rhymes and stuff.
yeah.
Especially like Persian ones have the most fire music. It's like
yeah.
have some like some trap bass beats underneath it. It's
Hell
like,
yeah.
what is this?
Yeah.
What is going on?
So all of that I just said, but also the fact that I think that the game works so well as a piece of art because you can interpret it as a couple of different conflicts. So you can interpret it as the mourning, like they said. But in my opinion, I think that, and this is a take I haven't heard online and I'm surprised, is that this game was made by like 30 some odd people that are ex-EA employees. And I interpret it as, because this father is trying to erase this painting, I interpret it as the, like, literally a producer or an executive saying like, hey, yeah, no, get rid of this game. I don't care if this game gets made or not. And it's like a giant symbol for the game. The mother is the director. Verso is the creative head that gets like thrown off the project. Mael and everyone else are the people that are working on the project. And the executive is just like, yeah, I get it. We can't make this game. We don't have enough money. I know it sucks, but we got to move on. And everybody else that's in the painting is just like, no, this is like good art. We need to make it.
It feels super timely because that's something that's happening all the time everywhere. Like it's like if you're in the software industry, not even just in the video games industry, if you're in the movie industry, if you're in the art industry, if you're in any industry where you're beholden to, like, you want to make art, but you're beholden to profit, you have experienced this at least once in your life. Or if you haven't, you're going to very soon. And that is probably why this game resonates so much with so many people.
And the family are all literally, they're called painters, and she is a paintress, the giant monolith lady. And so it makes sense that they're all creatives and they all want to make something. And they've been kind of drafted into this war between a couple of different, like, there's deeper lore. But like ultimately it feels so fresh because it looks gorgeous. The gameplay is immaculate. It's really challenging but cool. And that every single thing that is in the game is meant to be an homage and a love for gaming. Explicitly, it's like based off of like Final Fantasy games. It's meant to be. They even said that.
I love the part where Sephiroth just kills the little girl, just like out of nowhere.
No, really? I'm not kidding. The dad is Sephiroth, and I'm not joking.
Yeah,
like,
no.
When he shows up, it's like a Sephiroth moment. He's here to fuck shit up. And then additionally, like during their Game of the Year acceptance speech, the one of the creatives was like, "This goes out to Yamaguchi that made Final Fantasy. He really like, gave us such a love for RPGs. He even said this game is built on the back of YouTube tutorials about how to make a game because we didn't know how to make a game when we started." And it's just so, the story behind the game is so cool into itself because the secret boss at the end of the game is basically Guts from freaking Berserk, but it's like in the world of the game, it like is satisfying. He's actually like a character you've been hearing a lot about, and then you see him and he's a dude with one arm with a giant sword, and you're like, yeah, let's do it. And he rocks your shit. He ruins you, and it's awesome. It's so good. So cool. Yes, the game, it deserves all of the praise. I can't remotely talk highly enough about it. And the story alone is so captivating that apparently they wanted to make it into a movie, and I don't know how that would work, but it would be good.
It would make sense as a movie. An RPG as a movie.
Yeah,
that's a problem though. It's like you're always going to lose something in the translation.
Yeah. But
It's a cash grab. But let's
Yeah.
be honest. The real reason you liked it, we all know why. Gave you something to do with the French you learned in school.
yeah, it did. I was like, oh my god, they said AMA, which
C'est
means
omelette
love.
fromage.
Genuinely, I was trying to translate some of the songs, and a lot of the songs are like kind of foreshadowy in a deep way. But the cool thing for me is the fact that like, and people have like said this and broken it down that like in an RPG, you can build a moment where like you are like standing there in a cutscene, and then it like goes into the fight, and the music hits, and you're just like, oh my god. And like some people were playing in the game, and they're just like, okay, I need to just stop. I'm gonna put the controller down. This song's a banger. There's one character that shows up called Monaco, and he is he kind of looks like an ape kind of thing, but he's a wooden marionette kind of thing. And he shows up, and there's like, okay, watch out for him. His fighting style's a little weird. And then the song starts, and it's like a jazzy remix of something that doesn't fit the game at all. And you're like, this is so good. What is happening? I did I dressed up as like one of the mimes from the game for a convention I went to, and I just had a speaker playing that song, and everybody that knew the game was like, hell yeah. So it's great. It's so good. And I definitely think that it is worth all of the praise.
Okay,
So,
put it in D tier.
Gotta put it in didn't see. No, I'm kidding. We are going to put it in S tier. Let's get it all the way up there.
And that's it.
On that note, thank you guys so much for staying tuned. I hope you didn't stick through the spoilers if you haven't played the game.
Listen, we talked more about Expedition 33 than we talked about all the other stuff.
Because it
together.
deserves it. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing 2026 and Happy New Year.
Yeah, we'll see you next year.
Ah.